McDonald's paid FIFA over $1 billion. Cristiano Ronaldo, the most followed person on the internet, moved 2 Coca-Cola bottles off a press conference table. By the end of that same press conference, Coca-Cola had lost $4 billion in market value. UEFA's response? They threatened every team in the tournament with fines if any player did it again. This is not a story about football, but here's the question nobody is asking. Coca-Cola has been at every single World Cup since 1950. 76 years, not one exception. What exactly did they buy? And why does FIFA make it impossible for anyone to take it away? We are about to show you exactly what they bought. Before we talk about the food, you need to understand the scale of what we're dealing with. The 2026 FIFA World Cup is expected to generate $8.9 billion in revenue for FIFA alone. That is the most money ever made from a single sporting event in human history. Sponsorship revenue alone is projected to exceed $2.8 billion. Broadcasting rights, another $4.2 billion. FIFA describes itself as a non-profit organization. A non-profit organization generating $8.9 billion from one tournament. And inside that $2.8 billion sponsorship machine, the 2 biggest food and drink brands on earth have reserved their seats: Coca-Cola, McDonald's. FIFA required every World Cup host stadium to physically remove branding of any company that isn't an official FIFA sponsor. Entire venues were renamed, rebranded, stripped of their own identity to protect the exclusivity of their commercial partners. Buildings were renamed so Coca-Cola and McDonald's had no competition. That is what $8.9 billion buys. But here's what nobody talks about. What exactly are they selling you inside those buildings? Let's talk about what McDonald's is actually serving at this World Cup. The official FIFA meal comes in 2 versions: a Big Mac or 10 chicken McNuggets with fries and a drink. Both come with a collectible cup featuring football legends: Beckham, Ronaldinho, Pulisic. But here's the catch. The cup is random. You don't know which player you'll get until you open it. McDonald's calls this exciting. Their own analysts call it something else. A mechanism that encourages additional purchases. A lottery system inside a fast food restaurant sponsored by the World Cup. Now, let's talk about what's exactly inside that McNugget. McDonald's lists 20 separate ingredients in a chicken McNugget. 20 in something that's supposed to be chicken. The chicken itself, the thing the product is named after, is a mixture of breast, tenderloin, and rib meat ground together and reformed into that familiar shape. Every McNugget you have ever eaten tasted exactly the same. Not because the chicken was exceptional, because it was engineered to be identical every single time. And the oil it's fried in? Until 2016, it contained a silicone compound also found in contact lenses and industrial lubricants. McDonald's removed it from US nuggets that year, but quietly, it's still in the recipe in Canada. Same company, same product, different country, different ingredients, no announcement. The oil still contains a petroleum-derived preservative to stop it going rancid. FDA approved. Legal. On the label if you know where to look. Most people don't look. This is the official food of the FIFA World Cup 2026, the meal carrying the name of the most prestigious trophy in sports. FIFA put their logo on it and called it the taste of the tournament. McDonald's didn't just sell food at this World Cup. They launched a World Cup Happy Meal specifically targeting children. Collectible Squishmallow toys dressed in FIFA jerseys, themed packaging, scannable codes for digital games, marketed directly at kids during the most watched sporting event on Earth. This is not new. McDonald's has done this at every World Cup for decades. At the 2014 World Cup, McDonald's ran a program called Player Escort, where over 1,400 children aged 6 to 10 from 47 countries walked hand in hand with their football heroes onto the pitch. 6-year-olds walking with their idols in a McDonald's branded program. And here's the part that McDonald's own marketing team documented in writing. Familiarity built through children's meals influences dining preferences well into adulthood. They wrote that down. They're not selling a Happy Meal to a child. They're building a customer for life, and they're using football, your football, to do it. Now, back to Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has had stadium advertising at every single FIFA World Cup since 1950. 76 years without a single exception. Think about what that means. Every World Cup you have ever watched, every final, every iconic moment in football history, Coca-Cola was on the billboard behind it. And when Cristiano Ronaldo, the most recognized athlete on earth, simply moved 2 bottles off a table and held up water, Coca-Cola's market value dropped $4 billion by the end of that press conference. 1 man, 2 bottles, $4 billion. UEFA's immediate response was to warn all participating teams that they could face fines if players moved sponsor drinks again, because partnerships are integral to the delivery of the tournament. Integral to the delivery of the tournament. Not the football, not the players, the drinks bottles. A coalition of global health experts who wrote to FIFA President Giovanni Infantino this year demanding they end the Coca-Cola deal. Their letter stated that up to 6 billion fans, many of them children, will see marketing linked to football's greatest stars with beverages connected to obesity, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. FIFA has not responded publicly. The bottles are still on the table. But here's the thing about all of this that nobody in sports media will say out loud. The athletes competing at this World Cup follow some of the strictest nutritional regimes on Earth. No processed food, no excess sugar, no soft drinks. Ronaldo himself has spoken publicly for years about his diet. No alcohol, no sugary drinks, lean protein, precise calorie control. He moved those bottles because he genuinely does not consume what was in them. And FIFA fined his federation for it. The world's best athletes, performing at the highest level in the most watched tournament on Earth, are sponsored by the food and drink that their own nutritionists tell them never to touch. FIFA projects over 6 million fans will attend this World Cup in person. Hundreds of millions more will watch at home. Every single one of them will see McDonald's and Coca-Cola presented as a part of football culture, not as a commercial arrangement, as part of the game itself. FIFA ensured that by physically removing any competing brand from every stadium, no alternatives, no competition, no other choice visible. Just the burger, the bottle, and the trophy, presented together as if they belong together. They don't. So, what did McDonald's and Coca-Cola buy with their billion-dollar deals? They bought 76 years of uninterrupted presence at the most emotional moments in global sport. They bought the right to put their logo next to the greatest athletes on Earth. They bought Happy Meals that turned 6-year-olds into lifetime customers. They bought the silence of stadiums that aren't allowed to say a competing name. And they brought the threat of fines for any player who dares to move a bottle. FIFA calls this a partnership. We'll let you decide what to call it. One last question. The next time you watch a World Cup goal, look at the billboard behind it and ask yourself who put it there and why. Kamikaze Food.